Hi, welcome. Last video got cut off. Sorry about that, but it was finished anyway. I was talking about my efficiency and how like I won, like I became number one in FNM multiple times in a row because I had like the most efficient deck. My deck was just like one drops. So imagine like in turn one, of course you play one. I always had a one drop in hand because most of my cards were one drops. Turn two, I could play two one drops, and my first one drop would like get a boost from that, so it become like a 3/1 power creature, like with 3 power. Every time I put creature into play, he would become stronger. So. And then the other creatures, they're always like for one drop. There were one drops, but I always made sure that every creature did at least 2 power. The only creature that didn't have 2 power was my Legion Loyalist, but it had haste, first strike, and trample for all the creatures that were attacking, and tokens could not block, which was at some point very important. So this Legion Loyalist was the only creature in my deck that didn't have like 2 power, but it had all this other stuff. All my other creatures had at least 2 power on the front. So every one drop that I put down was another like a 2/2 or like 2/1 or something with power 2 on the front. And on some of them they were able to even do a lot more. I even have like one, I think Heartless Cinder or something, and if she got devotion from all the other creatures, so she could come in like boom as a 7/1 or 9/1, and with the Legion Loyalist giving her first strike trample, I could just attack, like even if they block, anything that would block would die and get trample damage. So that's kind of how I think Heartless Cinder actually came later in Modern. No, I didn't have that in Standard. So, but I had like a Rubble Belt Macaw. It gave +3/+3 to a first strike trample creature. So if it got blocked, boom! Suddenly it became a 2/2, became like a 5/5 first strike trample that could not be blocked by tokens. So I had all these combat tricks lined up, and every turn I would attack into my opponent, and in Standard you only have 20 lives, so you can imagine like 10 attacks with like 10 2/2s, you know, 10 attacks with a power 2 creature is game over for my enemy. And since I was dropping like, for every mana I put into play, I put like an extra creature into play. So first turn 1 creature, turn 2 I had like 3 creatures, turn 3 I put another 3 in, so I had like 6 creatures. So by that time I already was doing so much damage, you know, and sometimes I couldn't put a creature into play because of course I needed to keep the mana open for like the Rubble Belt Macaw or like my my lightning bolt or whatever. I needed like some I need to keep some money open for that, but then I would later on, if I didn't need to use it, if they wouldn't block, I would still put creatures in, you know. So there was kind of, so there's this, like I would win before my opponent would even be able to put up a game. And the trick about these kind of like efficient decks, and I mean this deck is kind of a bit like that. If you look at a lot of the things, I mean, well, there's some things that are 4, but there are also a lot of things that are like 2, and I mean, there are not many 6 mana things in this deck, you know. And the thing is about, let's say if I put like say like in turn 3, I have like all these 1-drops, like my opponent still only has like 2 mana open, you know. He can only do something for 2 mana, and 2 mana is even cheap for like to play 1 removal spell. But I already have 3 creatures in play, and he can, my opponent, if he's lucky, can only play 1 removal spell. And he's unlikely to have a removal spell for 2 mana that can kill 3 creatures. So I was always able to attack into my opponent. And I mean, there were removal spells that could kill multiple creatures, but they were like 4 mana. So by the time I'm already in turn 4 and I'm attacking, and if I was on the play, I could attack first with my 4 creatures. Actually, by turn 4, I had like a whole army. I had pretty much all my whole hand was on table, and I was attacking, you know. So yeah, you could see the problem for my opponents, where they were just already very low on health, and I could just maybe even it would be they would be really struggling and lose because I got I won a lot of games this way. So anyway, so good, enough talk about that. So let's start this game. So yeah, that's efficiency, and efficiency is a very important thing in this game because yeah, it's just the speed at which you are playing. I mean, it's a race between you and your opponent to get from yeah, for you to stay on 40 and for them to go to 0. That's kind of the whole challenge. Let's see what we can do. So that's why you have to try and be efficient in every way. That's why I put so much time and effort in playing my lands right and making sure I put the right cards into the game. Well, you say, oh, I have 3 mana now, I can put anything in the game. Sure, like I can do anything. I can do nothing right now, I think. Wait, this is a 4th card. Oh wait, I can put one in this, that one in this, so I have, yeah, double red and okay, so I can do Outpost Siege, that will give me a card advantage every turn, or I can put a creature into play that will stop my opponent from like hurting me, and then I can do damage to my opponent. I think I will go for the Outpost Siege. Do you know why? I'll give you like a second to think about it. Why is Outpost Siege better than Frontier Warmonger? Or would you play differently? Well, the thing is that since I have 40 life in my opponent, like, and he can only do like 1 or 2 damage right now, it's not a big deal to block him. Now it would be nice to do like 4 damage to my opponent next turn, but he might even put a blocker up. I don't know. The thing is that the Outpost Siege, because I'm still early in the game, I need lands. Like, I don't have any lands in hand right now. I don't know. I can only right now. Next turn I'm gonna get one card. That could be a land, but the chance it's not a land is even bigger than it being a land. So having 2 cards next turn is huge, because that means I could like have twice the chance of getting another land, and then like look at my opponent, is already behind on lands. So I'm just gonna win by having more mana available than my opponent. That's what I call it efficiency. So this is a more efficient Outpost Siege for me in the long run than trying to get like 4 damage in next turn right now. It's better just put like because I might miss a land drop next turn if I don't put Outpost Siege in. Okay, so I'm gonna do this one. Yeah, I have to do it like manually because anyway, you have to, in real life you have to do it manually anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna get an extra card next turn, and this is being efficient and having card advantage. Okay, so I did get more damage, but it's not like 2 damage is gonna be so bad. Now I can play the land, but remember I got like exiled card in my exile pile, so that's like 2 white. Okay, so now I can play my command tower. So this card gives white, and this one card gives white, and this card I think there's not a big problem here. It's all giving white. I can just use a white to make a white and red, and then get another white. Now I can play this card, so I still have 1 red left. I should probably think it through better, but I can see some red things here. What did I just, oh, I paid mana cost, yep. Okay, so now it's in play. So I still have 1 floating red. Maybe I can use it for shiny, What do I have? I have 2 more lands, so I can do it for shiny. So this will make my creature attack, but it has first strike. So that's no problem. I'm not. That's actually good. Getting a 4/4 first striker. Okay. Kind of tricky to getting the mana right. Okay. This is really nice. So I'm getting a card each turn. I got a nice free card of my Outpost Siege. So now I have advantage, right? Because I got an extra card. I played an extra card. Everything is going really nice. And that's like main thing in trying to like build into your game where you are at advantage. And all those advantages will build up to you winning the game. Now again, Outpost Siege got me an exile card. I can play now a free swamp. It's good because I didn't get a land drop, you see. So you see Outpost Siege already giving me like made me not miss my land drop. It gave me a Knight of the White Orchid. So, and now I got still all this other stuff to do. Okay. When a creature dies, draw a card. This is a human, this is a human. This is nice, getting cards. Warmonger is also good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna... So this is 4, this is also 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, board. Oh, I got 5, 6. 6. Yeah, I can only play 1 card this turn. So I think I'll go for the specialist because let's say my opponent has a removal spell that kills one of my creatures. At least I will get something back for it. So I'm gonna need black. Yeah, the Signet and the other one, those are the hard ones to use. Okay, so now I can use this. Human, of course. Okay. I can attack because I got 4. Oop, burn from within. Like I said, the only problem with this is it exiled my creature. It didn't kill it. Well, it killed it, but then exiled it. So I don't get the a card for it. I mean that burn from within is a really good card. That's why I put it in that deck because I'm not a fan of removal. So if I have removal, it's going to be really versatile. So and that card is so amazing because. Okay, so why this is a good card, right? We're talking about good cards. Okay. So it says burn from within deals X damage to target creature or player. So it can hit a creature or a player. So a lot of cards either do say like hit a creature and some cards say hit a player. So the fact that it can do both, it means that you can use it as a removal spell on a creature. Or you can like finish your opponent off. Let's say you have a standoff, your creatures can no longer do damage to your opponent because he's just too hard to get through. But you get this card and you have lots of like and you have some red mana and a lot of other mana. You can just boom blow out your opponent for like 10 damage. If you have like 11 mana lying around, you can just do 10 damage to the face. So that's one thing you can do with this card. Now you can also do that to a creature. So if there's like if you're in the early game and there's this like 2/3 like we have now, this is 2/3 here. Well, it's hexproof, so I cannot target it, but let's say I didn't have hexproof, I could just for 4 mana I could get rid of it if it's a real problem. On the other hand, late game, if there's a 6/6 that is like annoying, for 7 mana I could get rid of it. Okay, so that is the versatility. It can do. I can kill my opponent in the end of the game if once I have enough mana, or I can use it in the early game to get a creature, or I can use it like mid or late game to get rid of a creature. It's very versatile because again, there are removal spells that say, well, do 4 damage. Now that is nice, but let's say that removal costs it costs 3 mana and you don't have 3 mana and you want to get rid of a creature. Let's say you're in late game and you have a toughness 5 creature and it does only 4 damage. So those cards are way worse than this one. Now that card is doing 4 damage for 3 mana, so it has a bit of an advantage on this one, because to do 4 damage with this one it will cost you 5 mana. It's expensive in the mana cost, but that's the only drawback that this card has. It's it's less efficient in mana, but it is such a versatile card to have in your deck. So if you only gonna play like 1 or 2 removal spells, this is the card to put in your deck. Now and then this is just like basic knowledge of cards, like what makes a card good, what makes a card bad, and what makes you like it. Like I said, this card has drawbacks. The high price is a drawback. Like if I want to remove like a toughness 5 creature, I have to pay 6 mana and I have to have that mana. So that's a major drawback. There might be moments where I need to remove this creature, and I could have removed it. Like there are cards that say, well, for 1 red mana remove a toughness 5 creature. You know, those cards exist. So I'm really making an exchange for versatility for like a high mana cost instead of low mana cost with low versatility. Okay. Now, what do you think other reasons are why this card could be good? Well, one of the things it does, it exiles. So if a creature dies, it exiles. So that's also an advantage that a lot of cards have, that with burn cards, because normally lots of creatures can come back from the graveyard, they can come back into the game, you can just regenerate them. There are all sorts of stuff that you can do with a creature that you can kill it, but it just comes back or something. This card actually exiles it. Now, but there's one problem with like burn spells, because a burn spell normally does damage to a creature. So this does like damage. So let's say I have a toughness 5 creature and I do 5 damage to that creature, right? It dies because of the 5 damage, but the creature could have, like I said, a regenerate ability or something. Now that creature, my opponent just pays some money and now the card is back. So this card would have been useless without the exile. The exile actually means that before he can regenerate the creature, it now gets into exile. So it can never come back into the game. It actually permanently deletes that card from the game. So that's one of the most powerful abilities on this card, is the ability to exile. And very few, well, not very few, there are some cards there are a lot of burn cards or a lot of red cards that have this ability where you do damage. It says if you kill it, exile it, and those are the best cards, a lot better than cards that don't have that ability. Now, so we talked about this being a versatile card where it can target a player or creature. It can even end the game by killing a player. It can target only 1 creature, so it's only removal for 1 creature, but it can remove for cheap, well, relatively cheap, smaller creatures. You have to pay like the toughness +1, that's kind of what you're paying for. So you can remove a 1 toughness creature for 2 mana, you can remove a 4 toughness creature for like 5 mana, you can remove a 10 toughness creature for 11 mana. So it has lots of versatility in that way. Then it has the exile ability, so that's huge because you can permanently get rid of the card. So no one ever can, if you really hate that card, you really have trouble with that card, because maybe it's indestructible or something, and you want to get rid of it, then you can permanently get rid of it. And then it has the one thing, like it says it loses indestructible, and this is like one of the biggest problem for, like, if you play with red, that this is the two major problems that you have with red. One is like if you kill a creature, it stays in the game because it regenerates or something, because normally if you destroy it, it can and it goes to the graveyard, it can come back. And the other problem is indestructible. So this card deals with it says if you do damage to a creature, it loses indestructible, so it completely ignores indestructible creatures. So if your opponent has an indestructible creature, you can use this card to get rid of it permanently. So yeah, I think this card has all the things in it that you need to defeat like a lot of, if you want to deal with bad creatures and still be able to do damage to the player's face, then this is an amazing card. Okay, so that's about card value. And its only drawback could be that you have to have the mana available. Like, the only thing when this card might not work is like really early game. Like if this is the only card in your hand and you need to get rid of that smaller creature, but you just don't have the mana, and it's really important, but you just cannot do it because you're like mana screwed, you don't get the lands. Yeah, then it could be like the drawback could be of this card, that is the price. So always think about drawbacks too. There might be moments where you have this card in hand and you won't be able to use it. You know, you might actually lose the game because you're not able to use it. But in Commander, because you have 40 life, you probably have more time to accumulate more lands and then use that card at one point. But it's not a card, it's not a cheap removal spell, so it's not efficient in that way. It's more efficient in its power level of what it can do. It's a very powerful card, but it's not a cheap card, not efficient. It's efficient in its power level because it's so versatile in its power. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of how how the card works. And yeah, so there are lots of little things, little steps, little parts of it. It's not just that make it a great card. Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to teach too. You know, I mean, actually that's my main reason. We're not just playing games. I'm trying to teach you how to become good at FNM. So I just want to teach you how to look at cards, at their value and things, and how to select a good burn card. And as a red player, I've played a lot of red. You know, I really know a lot about red cards and what makes a good card and a bad card. So I just want to share that information. Okay, so let's go look at my opponent. Yeah, he's not doing much. Again, I get a free card. Gonna look in my exile. Banisher Priest. If I don't play the card, then I'm gonna lose it. I have nothing to banish because I don't even know if I exile type creature an opponent controls into banish. I don't know if I can play it because I might not be able to play it. No, it's just ignoring the banished part. Good, well, at least I have a free 2/2 creature. And yeah, it's a pity there's no creature to remove though. So this is also a really good card. If you see my other videos, I talked about this. It is a 2/2, but it also like removes a creature. So this is like, it's like a removal spell built into a creature. So it's like it takes away a card from my opponent and it gives me a card on the field. So it's, and I need like a battalion of lots of humans. So this is an amazing card. That's why I like this deck so much, because all the cards, they're not like, they all work, so they're like probably like cheap cards on their own right, but they work together so well, you know. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. I can still play 4, so I probably better do that. Let's get rid of this treasure token. Let's do a red. One, 2, 3. Was I miscalculating? 1 second. Red. Wait a minute. I thought I had 4. Oh, Boris Signet. So okay, so we got another creature down. Now I could attack, but he can just block and nothing would happen. So I don't want to risk like them doing any tricks, and I don't have any tricks. Oh no! So it just got that double strike. He's not attacking though. I still have my. I love this Outpost Siege. Although I didn't build this deck, this is something I would definitely love to put in into like I would have. So this is 6 mana card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should be able to cast it. But I have to do these difficult cards first. Now the other cards, they will do it on auto. Okay, so I got 5/5 flying. If it dies, it's gonna give me ++1 counters to all my humans. So that's good. I'm feeling a bit nauseous today. I need to maybe if I can. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so let's go to the. Oh, I got more creatures to attack with, but I also have. But yeah, I have the Frontier Warmonger now, so it will give menace. That means he can only block with 2 creatures, and he only has 1. So yeah, now normally I would have played my commander now because it will give me extra damage. But yeah, I couldn't let go like a free Dearly Departed card. So yeah, I'm gonna attack with everything now. What's this token? What's this menace? Oh, they all got menace. Yeah, they all got menace. So that's like 8 damage. Oh no, he's taken control of my card. There's nothing I can do about that. Nope, I don't see anything I can do. Now he's doing damage to me. Let's see what kind of free card. I love free cards. Okay, another like having a like you only have this is advantage. Imagine every player in the game, they get 1 free card each turn. Unless you do something about it, this is kind of what you're stuck with, like 1 free card. It's like and the cards depend. They tell you, they give you options to play, do all sorts of stuff. Cards are really what it's all about, because every card, like after you've paid for it, it's like a creature on the field, it's an ability, it's a thing, you know. So having that free card every turn, it just doubles the cards I have to play with, you know. So card advantage is a major thing if you want to be unless your deck is so efficient that it doesn't need that. Okay, but having some, it can really break out the game for you. Just having that advantage of having that extra card each turn. Even if you're losing cards or things are going haywire, just being able to like, also like you're not going to lose land drops. You can choose what kind of land you're going to put in play, what kind of cards you can choose for the best cards. Look how many cards I still have left. I mean, my opponent has 3 cards, but I have like 5 cards, you know. But yeah, this 5/5 flyer is kind of a problem, but by attacking now he has only one blocker. So I think, oh yeah, I'm rushing now, I'm rushing. I should have played my commander, I could have done more damage. Anyway, it's too late now. So if I've not played my commander, might as well do something else. Choose any number of target opponents, create X 1/1 white commander, where X is the number of creatures those opponents control. So they control like 2 creatures now. I know it's not very exciting to put like 2 creatures into the game, but I mean there will be 2 humans. At least there will be 2 humans. So let's do the signet. Select opponent. Well, there's going to be like 3 ones next turn, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. I can do ambitious cost. Now this is an example of a horrible card. It will give you cards, and I told you that like Outpost Siege is really good to get extra cards, but compared to Outpost Siege it's the same price, 4 mana, and it costs you like 4 mana and 1 card. The card is also the price, right? It costs you 1 mana, and it's also, this is a sorcery, so there's already the thing like this in enchantment, so this will give me a card every turn. Now of course this will give me 3 cards right now, right here and right now. I don't have to wait 3 turns. You could see that as an advantage. Like for a control player that could be very good, because a control player want to do a lot of things in one turn. So he can play this sorcery, get 3 cards, and maybe one of those cards will give him more life and the other card will give him more cards, and then he can play more, and then he can do more land, and then he can do more this and more that, blah, 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 and he just can keep playing sorceries and instants and keep building up. Now maybe one day I will build like one of those like those engines, but for now I mean, because it still costs the mana, that's the thing. Like I can try and play like multiple sorceries in one turn, but I have only so much mana, and the thing is that Outpost Siege, after 3 turns it will give me this. I already got more than 3 turns of cards out of Outpost Siege since I've played it, so this will have more potential to give me more, while this will give me more instant things. It will give me 3 cards directly, but also have to pay 3 life, so that's not so great. Okay, I need to pay this thing. Let's take a black. One, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So it even cost me 3 life, not a big deal. Do I have, I can't. Okay, so that's kind of my play. I have to look at this card next turn. Okay, I'm gonna take a little break. Just watch me in the next video, and I'll break off this video for now, and I'm gonna continue the next video. And in the next video I will tell you to go look at this video for the first part. Anyway, I hope you're having a super great day, and see you in the next video for the part 2 of this game.